Hello and welcome back to Timeless Wisdom. Have you ever observed how some individuals are able to maintain an organized home despite having a hectic schedule and numerous responsibilities? Meanwhile, many of us struggle with clutter that seems to accumulate on its own. However, there is a group of people who have mastered simple yet powerful habits that keep their homes from getting messy, regardless of how busy life gets. If you're tired of walking into a chaotic home, or feel like you're always running around trying to tidy up but never quite finishing, this video is for you. I'll be sharing 7 key habits that these individuals practice, daily habits so simple that anyone can adopt them, yet so impactful that they'll transform your home into a calm, organized space. The best part is that these habits don't require hours of effort or anything extraordinary. Once they become part of your routine, you'll find they come naturally, and you won't even realize you're doing them. But a word of caution. If you don't implement these strategies, you may find yourself stuck in the endless loop of organizing, cluttering, and organizing again. Stay tuned until the end, because the 7th habit is the most unexpected of all and will change the way you approach home organization forever. Tip 1. The 2-minute rule. There is a habit that separates organized people from disorganized people, and it's simpler than you might think. It's the famous 2-minute rule, which goes like this. Whenever you notice something that can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. That means putting away that coat that was thrown on the chair, washing the cup you just used, or putting your shoes back on as soon as you take them off. The problem that this rule solves is huge. Most people let small tasks pile up because they think they'll do it later, but that later never comes. The result is a mountain of small things that turn into a huge mess. When you follow the 2-minute rule, you prevent these small tasks from turning into a bigger problem. In practice, it works like this. You get home from work, and instead of throwing your keys anywhere, walk over to your keychain and put them back. It takes 15 seconds, but it saves you from spending 10 minutes looking for your keys the next day. Or you finish eating, and instead of leaving your plate on the table, take it to the sink and quickly wash it. That's 2 minutes that saves you 15 minutes of cleaning later. The benefits are immediate and long-lasting. First, your home never really gets messy because you're always taking care of the little things. Second, you develop a proactive mindset about organizing. Third, you save time and energy that would otherwise be spent on deep cleaning. And lastly, you drastically reduce the stress of living in a disorganized environment. Tip 2. Everything has its fixed place. One of the biggest secrets of people who keep their homes organized is that they never leave an object without a fixed address. This means that every item in the house, from the remote control to the kitchen scissors, has a specific and definitive place where it is always kept. When we don't define fixed places for our belongings, we create what I call invisible chaos. You can even tidy up the house, but at the first opportunity, things start to scatter again because they don't know where they should go. It's like trying to organize people at a party without assigned chairs. Everyone gets lost and spreads out. The practical application is simpler than it seems. Start with the items you use every day. Your keys always stay on the hook near the door. Your cell phone charger always stays in the same outlet. Your glasses always stay on the same nightstand. When you pick something up, use it and automatically put it back in the right place without even thinking about it. A real example. A family I knew was always losing important things. They spent at least 15 minutes every morning looking for keys, wallets, and glasses. Once you've established a fixed place for each item and created the habit of always putting it away in the same places, those 15 minutes of morning stress simply disappear. The benefits are life-changing. You'll never waste time looking for things again because you know exactly where they are. Your home automatically becomes more organized because each item has its own destination. You develop a sense of control over your environment. And best of all, other people in the house will also start to follow the same pattern, multiplying the results. Tip 3. The collection basket method. Here's a habit that will change your life, and that few people know about. The collection basket method. It involves having a basket or box in each main room of the house where you temporarily put items that are out of place. The big problem we face is that during the day, things naturally get scattered around the house. You take off a coat here, leave a magazine there, put your glasses somewhere else. At the end of the day, you have dozens of objects scattered around and feel overwhelmed just thinking about putting them all away. The collection basket solves this in a brilliant way. During the day, whenever you see something out of place but don't have time to put it away at the right time, you put it in the basket. Once a day, usually in the late afternoon, you take the basket and go around the house, putting each item in its correct place. Here's how it works in practice. You have a nice basket in the living room, another in the bedroom, and a third in the kitchen. Throughout the day, the objects that are out of place go into the baskets. At the end of the day, in 10 minutes, you empty all the baskets and put each thing in its rightful place. A friend of mine used this method and told me that it completely changed the way her house works. Before, she would get stressed out seeing things scattered around but not have time to put them away one by one. Now, her house is visually organized all day long, and she can do everything at once. The benefits are impressive. Your house stays visually organized all day long, you don't get stressed out seeing things out of place. Tidying up becomes more efficient because you do everything at once and you develop the habit of thinking about where each object belongs. Hey, before we move on to the next tip, if you're enjoying these strategies that really work, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any new content. Tell me in the comments where you are watching this video from, I love knowing where our viewers are. Now, let's move on to the next tip, which is one of the most powerful, tip 4, the 5-minute routine. There is a habit that the most organized people practice religiously, and it can be summed up in just 5 minutes a day. It's the 5-minute routine, which consists of dedicating 5 minutes, always at the same time, to quickly and strategically clean a specific space. Many people believe that organization requires hours of dedication, and so they constantly put it off. The result is that small problems turn into big messes that actually take a lot of time to solve. The 5-minute routine breaks this vicious cycle because it prevents problems from piling up. In practice, you choose a fixed time of the day, it could be right after breakfast or before dinner, and dedicate exactly 5 minutes to organizing a space. Monday is 5 minutes in the living room, Tuesday, 5 minutes in the bedroom, Wednesday, 5 minutes in the kitchen, and so on. In those 5 minutes, you focus on putting away misplaced objects quickly, wiping down surfaces, and fixing anything that's messy. A real example. I knew a lady who worked all day and came home exhausted. She implemented the 5-minute routine at 9:00 p.m. every day. Within a few days, she noticed that her house was always presentable, even without spending hours cleaning. The secret is consistency and prevention. The benefits are extraordinary. First, your house never really gets messy because you are always taking care of it little by little. Second, 5 minutes is such a small amount of time that it doesn't weigh down your routine, but it is enough to make a difference. Third, you develop the habit of observing and taking care of your environment daily. And fourth, you save hours that would otherwise be spent doing deep cleaning on the weekends. Tip 5, the 1-4-1 principle. Here's a habit that will revolutionize the way you deal with organization. The 1-for-1 principle. This simple rule states that whenever you bring something new into your home, you should get rid of something similar that you already have. Did you buy a new blouse? Donate one that you no longer wear. Did you get a book? Pass on another one that you've already read. The problem that this habit solves is the constant accumulation of objects that make our homes increasingly full and difficult to organize. Most people only think about getting rid of things when their house is already full, but by then, it's too late. The 1-for-1 principle maintains a constant balance between what comes in and what goes out of your home. It's very simple to apply. Every time you acquire something new, whether you buy it, get it as a gift, or even borrow it for a long time, you automatically look for something similar to donate, sell, or discard. If you bought a new pen, donate an old one. If you bought shoes, take a pair out of the closet that you no longer wear. If you got a new piece of furniture, find an old piece to pass on. One family I know applied this rule for an entire year. At the end of that time, they noticed that their home was more organized, cleaner, and more functional, even though they had acquired many new things during that time. The secret was to always keep the same amount of belongings. The benefits are transformative. Your home is never overloaded with objects. You become more aware of what you really need and use. Other people benefit from the things you no longer use. You save space and time organizing. And you develop a more conscious and sustainable lifestyle. Tip 6, the clean surface technique. One of the most powerful habits of organized people is to keep the main surfaces of their home completely free of unnecessary objects. This means that the living room table, the kitchen counter, the bedroom dresser, and other surfaces are always clean and free of clutter, except for the items that really belong there. The problem with cluttered surfaces is that they create a cascading effect. When a table is full of stuff, we tend to put even more stuff on it because it's already cluttered. When a surface is clean, we naturally respect it and keep it organized. Plus, clear surfaces make the whole house look more organized, even if other places aren't perfect. Here's how to do it. Choose the 3 most visible surfaces in your home. This could be the living room table, the kitchen counter, and the bedroom nightstand. Make a rule that these surfaces should always be completely free, except for the objects that really belong there. The living room table should only have a vase or fixed decoration. The kitchen counter should only have the appliances you use daily. The nightstand should only have a lamp and maybe a book. A practical example. A friend of mine always had her living room table full of papers, keys, bags, and 1,000 other things. She established the rule of a clean surface and got into the habit of leaving the table completely empty every night before going to bed. Within a week, the whole family started to respect this rule automatically. The benefits are immediate and visible. Your home instantly looks more organized and clean. You feel more at ease when you look at uncluttered spaces. It is easier to clean surfaces that are always empty. You develop discipline that extends to other areas of organization, and you create a more harmonious and relaxing environment for the whole family. Tip 7. The nighttime preparation habit. This is the most transformative habit of all, and it explains why some people wake up to organized homes while others start the day in chaos. It's called nighttime prepping, which consists of spending 10 minutes every night preparing your home and yourself for the next day. The problem most people face is starting the day in a rush with no time to organize anything and ending it too tired to clean up after themselves. This creates a cycle where your home is always messy and you're always stressed. Nighttime prepping breaks this cycle because you take care of everything while you still have energy and calm. These 10 minutes at night include a few specific actions. First, you quickly put away any items that were out of place during the day. Second, you prepare everything you'll need, the next day clothes sorted, purse tidy, keys in the right place. Third, you keep the kitchen clean and organized. Fourth, you take a quick walk around the house to fix anything that's out of place. And fifth, you mentally prepare what you need to do the next day. A real-life example. A couple with small children were constantly rushing around in the morning. They implemented nighttime prepping and completely transformed their mornings. Instead of waking up to chaos, they started waking up to an organized home with everything ready for the day. The 10 minutes at night saved them at least 30 minutes in the morning. The benefits are revolutionary. You wake up to an organized and calm environment. Your mornings are calmer and more productive. You develop a sense of control over your routine. You sleep better knowing that everything is ready for the next day. And you create a nighttime ritual that helps you relax and wind down before bed. Tip 8. The useful movement rule. There is a habit that the most organized people practice without even realizing it, and it multiplies the efficiency of any movement around the house. It is the useful movement rule, which establishes a simple rule. Never move around the house empty-handed. If there is something that needs to be taken in the direction you are going, take it with you. The problem that many people face is that they make dozens of movements around the house during the day, but do not take advantage of each movement to organize something. The result? You walk a lot, but the house remains messy. The useful movement rule transforms each movement into an opportunity to organize. It works like this in practice. You are in the living room and go to the kitchen. Before leaving, you look around and see if there is anything that needs to go to the kitchen. It could be an empty glass, a plate, or any object that belongs there. You are in the bedroom and go to the bathroom. So you take with you the towel that was thrown on the bed. You are going up the stairs and take with you that book that needs to go to the bedroom. A real example. A friend told me that she started applying this rule and was impressed with the results. She realized that she made at least 20 movements around the house a day. When you start taking advantage of every move to remove something that is out of place, your home automatically becomes more organized without spending any extra time on tidying up. The benefits are fantastic. You organize your home without dedicating any specific time to it. Your movements around the house become more efficient and productive. You develop the habit of constantly observing what is out of place. You save time and energy that you would spend on tidying up, and you transform organization into something natural and automatic, which happens during your normal daily activities. Tip 9. The layered organization system. This habit will completely change your perception of organization and is used by people who are able to keep everything in its place at all times. It is the layered organization system, which establishes different levels of organization for different times and situations. Not everything needs to be perfectly organized all the time, but everything needs to have its appropriate level of order. The problem most people face is thinking that organization is all or nothing. Either the house is perfect or it is a mess. This mentality causes people to give up on organizing because they think they need to do everything at once. The layered system recognizes that real life has different times and different needs for organization. The first layer is visual organization, which means that the house looks organized when someone walks in. Surfaces are clear, there are no clothes lying around, and the rooms are presentable. The second layer is functional organization, where you can easily find what you need and use the spaces normally. The third layer is deep organization, where drawers, cabinets, and corners are perfectly organized. A practical example. When you have guests coming over in an hour, you focus on the first layer. When you are getting the house ready for the week, you work on the second layer. On your free weekends, you can focus on the third layer. One family used this system and found that they could keep their home looking neat by focusing mainly on the first two layers, saving the deep cleaning for specific moments. The benefits are liberating. You don't feel guilty when everything isn't perfect. You can keep your home looking neat with less effort. You have clarity about what needs to be done at any given time. You develop a more realistic and sustainable approach to organizing, and you drastically reduce the stress associated with tidying up. Tip 10. The flexible routine method. The last tip is the secret of people who manage to stay organized even when life gets unpredictable. It's the flexible routine method, which consists of having a basic organizational structure that adapts to different situations and paces of life. The problem with rigid routines is that when something goes wrong, everything falls apart. You lose a day of your organizational routine and feel like everything is lost. The flexible routine recognizes that real life is unpredictable and creates a system that works on both normal and unusual days. The basic structure includes 3 non-negotiable elements that you do every day, no matter what. It could be making your bed, washing the breakfast dishes, and putting away your clean clothes. These 3 elements keep you organized even on the busiest days. Then you have optional elements that you do when you have time and energy. It could be organizing a drawer, cleaning a mirror, or tidying up a closet. Flexibility lies in adapting the amount and intensity of tasks according to each day. Here's a real-life example. A working mom told me that her flexible routines saved her sanity. On regular days, she can do her 3 basic tasks plus a few optional ones. On busy days, she focuses on the essentials. On weekends, she can dedicate more time to extra tasks. The important thing is that the house never really gets messy because the basics are always taken care of. The benefits are extraordinary. You stay organized even in difficult times. You don't feel guilty when you can't get everything done. You develop resilience and adaptability in your routine. You can maintain a foundation of organization that will last for the long term, and you create a system that grows and adapts along with the changes in your life. Final words. Now you're familiar with the 7 essential habits that set organized individuals apart from those who struggle with clutter. The 2-minute rule, assigning a fixed place for everything, the collection basket method, the 5-minute routine, the 1-for-1 principle, the clean surface technique, the nightly prep habit, the useful movement rule, the layered organization system, and the flexible routine method. These aren't just abstract concepts, they are practical, proven strategies used by real people who have transformed both their homes and their lives. The key takeaway here is to begin. Start with one habit that resonates with you the most and focus on practicing it consistently for 1 week. Once that habit feels effortless and automatic, add another to the mix. Remember, lasting organization doesn't occur in a day. It comes from making small, consistent changes that become a part of your daily routine. You don't need to be perfect, you only need to be consistent. You don't have to tackle everything at once, just take it one step at a time, making small improvements every day. Your dream of an organized home is much closer than you think. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits will you start implementing first? Drop a comment below sharing which strategy stood out to you, and let me know how it works out once you give it a try. And if you haven't subscribed to Timeless Wisdom yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more helpful tips and insights that will continue to transform your home and your life. Your journey to a beautifully organized home begins now. Let's take that first step together.